Dear students, good morning. Hope you will be fine and enjoying your good health. Today we are going to start our new unit, Unit 6, and the name of our unit is Nasiruddin. Kindly open your books at page number 55. So students, this video contains all the possible explanation of this unit, so listen and watch it very carefully. So that your concepts get clear, let's proceed towards the next page. So, every year Nasiruddin Day is celebrated in Turkey with great pomp and show. Now pomp and show means celebration. The age in which he lived is not exactly known. There are even doubts about the country of his birth. Iranian claims means to declare that he was an Iranian. The Turks have their own claim. The latest claim is that of the Russians, who says that he was born in Bukhara. Whatever his place of birth and nationality might have been, the fact remains that his anecdotes are short, interesting stories. So, his anecdotes are famous all over the world. Several volumes of stories about Nasiruddin have been published in England. A translation of his stories relating to the funny situations of his life has been published in China. In Russia, a novel has been published about the life of Nasiruddin. Several volumes of his stories have been published in Urdu and Pashto. They are often repeated by the people. The stories of Nasiruddin are popular because they deal with the experience of day-to-day life. He has been a tailor, a merchant, a doctor, and a judge. He had traveled widely. Here are few amusing stories about Nasiruddin. So, in this paragraph, we came to know that Nasiruddin is a very famous figure. In Turkey, his day is celebrated with great joy. His year of birth is still not known. Many countries like Iran, Russia, and Turks claim that he was born there, but no one knows that what is his place of birth. He was a very famous person who was famous for his short funny stories. His stories are so famous that his stories are translated into many languages. His stories are translated into Chinese, Russian, even they are translated into Urdu and Pashto. One of the reasons his stories are popular because they deal with the day-to-day life. His stories are humorous, very funny, and are enjoyed by the people all over the world, even today. Now, here are a few amusing stories about Nasiruddin. Here, amusing means interesting. So, the first story is Nasiruddin requested a friend named Jalal to accompany. Accompany means to go with someone. To accompany him on a journey. Only one condition, said Jalal, that you will lend me your cloak because mine is worn out. Worn out means teared. Nasiruddin gave him a new and a very fine cloak. Now, what is cloak? Cloak is a long coat which is sleeveless. On the way, Nasiruddin met another friend and said to him, Sir, meet my friend Jalal. The cloak that he is wearing is mine. When the friend had left, Jalal protested. Protested means he objected. Why did you tell that man that the cloak was yours? Nasiruddin promised that he would not repeat the mistake. As they proceeded means to move further and visited another friend at his house. Nasiruddin introduced his friend thus, here is Jalal, an old friend of mine. The cloak that he is wearing is his own. Jalal became furious and warned Nasiruddin not to speak a word about cloak. When they visited another of Nasiruddin's friends, he introduced his friend, meet my friend Jalal, the cloak that he is wearing. Oh, I am not supposed to say about it. Now, in the first story, we can see that Nasiruddin asked one of his friend Jalal to go with him on a journey. Now, Jalal asked him to lend him his cloak because he was not having one. Nasiruddin lent him his coat. Oh, now what happens? On the way, Nasiruddin met his different friends. Everywhere he introduced Jalal, but he also kept telling them about the cloak Jalal was wearing, on which Jalal was furious and said not to say a word about the cloak. The last friend Nasiruddin met, how he introduced Jalal to him. He says that meet my friend Jalal, and the cloak he was wearing, I don't know about it. So here in this story we can see a sense of humor. Now, in the second story, when a farmer came to Nasiruddin and requested him to read a letter for me, Nasiruddin simply excused by saying that he was illiterate and he is unable to read the letter. So the farmer got angry and asked Nasiruddin that you are wearing such a big turban on your head and still you can't read. So Nasiruddin kept his turban on his head and said, now you read the letter. Now in this story we can also see a sense of humor, a funny situation where he put his turban on the head of the farmer and asked him to read. Now in the third story we can see that Nasiruddin had two daughters. His one daughter was married to a farmer while his other daughter was married to a brickmaker. Once his both daughters came to meet Nasiruddin. The farmer's wife says that if it will rain and the wheat crops ripe on time, so my husband will buy jewelry for me. In the meanwhile, the other daughter says that my husband has made a lot of bricks and he is ready to bake them. But if it will not rain, so he will sell them, get the amount and buy me a jewelry. By seeing the situation where one daughter said that it should rain while the other daughter said it should not rain, so Nasiruddin said that I can pray only one for you, but I don't know for whom I should pray. In the fourth story, once Nasiruddin was at his home and some thieves entered in his house. When Nasiruddin came to know that the thieves entered his house, he hid himself in the cupboard. When the thieves searched the whole house, they came to the cupboard, and when they opened it, they found Nasiruddin hiding in the cupboard. So they asked him, why you are hiding in the cupboard? So Nasiruddin replied that I hide myself here due to the shame that there is nothing special for you in my home to steal. So here you can also see his sense of humor, that he says to the thieves that he is hiding in the cupboard because there is nothing special at his home for the thieves. In the fifth story, once Nasiruddin was riding a horse. Suddenly, the horse get frightened. The horse get feared. So he started jumping and running very fast. So on the way, one of his friend asks him, "Where are you going in such a hurry?" So Nasiruddin replies that, "I don't know. Ask my horse that where he is taking me." In the next story, once Nasiruddin quarrels with his wife, so in anger, his wife says to him that, "Please get out of the house and go and walk on the road." So Nasiruddin kept walking on the road for 2 days. One day a man came to his house and asked him that, why you are walking outside the house, why you are not coming inside of your house. So Nasiruddin says to him that, "Please go and ask my wife that should I continue walking or should I come home." In the seventh story, someone asked Nasiruddin about his age. Now, what was his answer? He answers them, "I am 3 years older than my brother." Now, he doesn't tell about his actual age, but he says, "I am 3 years older than my brother." So the man asks that, "How?" So Nasiruddin says, he replies that 2 years back he was 2 years older than me, but now 1 year has been gone. So now I am 3 years older than him. So if I will grow old at this rate, so I will be soon his grandfather. So here you can also see that when the person asks him about his age, he doesn't answer him directly about his age. He doesn't tell him the number. He replies him in a very funny way. So in the eighth story, in the next story, Nasiruddin went to a rich man and asked him for money. So the rich man asked him, "Why do you need this money?" So Nasiruddin says that, "I want to buy an elephant." So the man replies that, "You don't have money and you are here to ask me for money. So how would you keep an elephant if you are not having having the money?" So Nasiruddin replies that, "I am here to ask for money from you. I'm not here to get the advice. So please don't give me the advice, give me the money." So this was the reply of the Nasiruddin. In the ninth story, Nasiruddin went to someone's garden and he started stealing the vegetables. He started putting all the vegetables in his sack. Suddenly the gardener comes and asks him, "What are you doing?" So Nasiruddin holds one of the plant and says that, "I was blown by the air and I came here. So that's why I'm here." So the gardener asks him, "If you are blown by the air, then why these vegetables are in your sack?" So the Nasiruddin replies that, "I was thinking the same, but you interfered and disturbed my thinking." In the last story, once a neighbor comes to Nasiruddin and asks him to lend him his donkey. So what does Nasiruddin replies? He answers him that, "I don't have donkey." So at that moment the donkey brayed. He produced the sound. So when the neighbor heard the bray of the donkey, he tells Nasiruddin that, "You were saying that you don't have the donkey, and I have heard the sound of the donkey." So in response, Nasiruddin says that a man who does not believe my words and who believes on the words of a donkey, he does not deserve to lend anything. He doesn't deserve to lend anything. So in all these stories, we can see a sense of humor. Now, these stories are called anecdotes because you can see that all of these stories are very short. These are not long like other other detailed stories. They are very short. So this is the reason that these stories are called anecdotes. I hope this lesson is clear to you, and I have tried my level best to explain this lesson to you. Thank you so much.